Alright guys, going to show you what the what I'm talking about here with these torsion bar cams and how I ground it down. Yeah, your cam just fits in there, it's splined to the torsion bar itself, and these two tabs that stick off each side of the cam they're grooved to fit in the trailing arm. And what I noticed is when I had this thing in here, like I don't have Loctite on anything, absolutely nothing. It's just stupid if you ask me. But what I found was the end of the cam that was in there was bottoming out on the spindle inside here where the trailing arm sits. They're rubbing together. Like that spindle sits straight with the frame, and every time the torsion bar twists, the cam twists. So what was happening was the cam was rubbing on the end of the spindle. So what I did is I took it to the bench grinder and I ground the top off, or ground the end off here, probably down about 1/16 of an inch. How I noticed it was the grease. See, I got all this freaking grease on here. I noticed that the grease transferred from here and it was all smudged evenly on the spindle on the quad. So that's how I noticed it at first, that they were in contact. Like they shouldn't be touching at all. No way to hell. But that's what I noticed. Like, I got no Loctite on splines, I got no Loctite on the nuts. Nylon locking nut is a nylon locking nut, so it locks all by itself. Like, to put Loctite in there, it's just retarded. It's just wrecking threads and torsion bars. It's stupid. And I put lube on the washer on both sides before I put it in there, before I put the nut on, just if there's a little bit of play between the splines. And if anything does move, like, everything's going to be lubricated in any spot that anything should move. So nothing should squeak. Like, I've done this a couple of times and I've Loctited it. I Loctited it the first time, I think. And it still came back squeaking. So I took it all apart, cleaned all the crap off it, and I greased everything. And it still squeaked. Then I found that I had a trailing arm spanner nut that was loose. So I tightened that back up. Put it all back together. Like, every time you tighten a spanner nut, you gotta take the torsion bar out to get at it. So, like, the squeaking noise would go away for, I don't know, not very long. It didn't last long at all. This is the longest that it's gone since I've done anything, and that's when I ground these two ends off. I did it on both cams. There's a cam on both sides. Took them both off and I ground them both down about 1/16 of an inch. If you wanted to see if yours were actually touching or not, just take it all out, clean it up really good, and just put some grease all around the end. Just put a layer of grease on there and put your torsion bar all back together, torque it up, and then see if any of the grease transferred from your cam to the spindle on the inside, and then that will tell you if you're hitting or not. If something ever happens to your torsion bar, breaks or anything stupid, your dealer's not likely going to warranty anything they see modified like this. Me, I don't care. I want the freaking noise gone, and the dealer doesn't seem to know how to fix it. So and that's that. And here's the BRP spanner socket. Freaking thing weighs like 5 pounds or 10 pounds. It's heavy. It's awesome. It's 100 times better than any automotive one that you can buy. But if that's all you got, it'll probably do the trick. I'll get a measurement here for those of you who want it to compare and find something. But that's the mod I'm talking about anyway. Just grind the end of that. Grind this whole big surface down here a little bit. Freaking grass. That's her.